Hello, welcome to day 101 of the climb to 1800. I apologize for my messy bed. It's pretty late and I just wanted to get to recording. Let's jump straight into the game. And today I really want to focus on my time management because, as many of you pointed out correctly, my time management absolutely sucks. And do I think that a part of it is because I'm recording and commentating? Yes, definitely. But that's not an excuse. And by the way, I hate facing this thing so much. It's very solid. It's not bad like I used to think that it was at all. It's actually totally fine. And I literally fell into this line the other day. This is already bad for me because now I'm gonna have to double my pawns. This is what happens when I play fast, by the way. It's why I don't do it. I suppose that I can probably just defend like normal. Yeah, I'm just gonna bring my bishop out. If he takes here, that's fine with me because I'm gonna castle short anyway and bring my rook to the b file. But yeah, I hate playing against these like cagey openings, these really cagey things where it's like they just try to take you out of your known territory and confuse you. Not my style of chess at all. But I'm going to try to not lose too much time in the opening because that would be very bad. Okay, I think I am actually going to take here for one reason and one reason only. If I go back, he's just going to play g5, and then after I go g3, he's actually just going to take my pawn, and I can't do anything about it. So I am going to need to take here. Okay, now I can probably just castle, but I can also, yeah, I mean, why not just castle? Why not, right? Now, something in my gut tells me that he is going to try to castle long and start a pawn barrage. I'm not terrified of it. And for some reason today, and I played a few games of Blitz after I stopped recording yesterday, I've just, my chess, oh, never mind, I was wrong. My chess was just so horrible. Like, it's actually unbelievable how bad my chess is right now. And I know that I shouldn't say that because that's like speaking it into existence, but it is what it is. I'm not going to play there attacking this pawn. It's totally defended. Instead, I'm going to bring my queen up. Yep, bring my queen up so that I don't have to double my pawns if he ever captures this knight. And yeah, I'm just trying to play fast. I'm sure that at some point I'm going to have to slow down and think a lot, but the main thing against setups like this is called the Owens defense according to the chess.com thing, is that, listen, like, I'm not going to ever really prep against this. Maybe someday I will, but I don't have any prep against it. The main thing is just don't get super over ambitious because it's actually a lot more solid than it seems. Like, it seems like you should just be able to punish it really badly, really quickly, but most of the time you can't because it's actually pretty darn solid. And by the way, I was going to take with the queen, but there's a case for taking with the pawn as well. But since he castled long, I'm probably just going to take with the queen and keep my pawn structure as healthy as possible. And now I am threatening this pawn. Never mind. Okay, now is the moment where I'm going to think a little bit because I've played the first 11 moves pretty quickly. I don't really want to take here because I feel like it's his ideal world if I take. Well, first of all, after I take, he's going to trade the queens, tripling my pawns. Just not good for me at all. And also, after doubling my pawns, he's going to have a perfect pawn wall. Yeah, it's not the situation that you want to be in as white. So instead, I might actually ignore it, or I could probably even play e5. But after e5 takes, he's actually just going to take this knight. So there's really no reason to do that. So let's just play rook e1 instead. Let's just fully ignore him. And if he wants to take here, then I'm totally cool with that. I'll obviously recapture with the knight. Or actually, maybe even with the queen. Maybe the queen trade would be good for... Okay, I have to think, because taking with the knight is obviously more ambitious, keeping the queens on the board. But at the same time, then he probably is going to play e5. And then after that, I'm going to have to move my knight back anyway. He's going to get the trade in. So it's really not worth all the thought. Probably. Instead, I'm just going to have to be content with the fact that I have a little bit more space. And that's going to be my only advantage. Oh, and he doesn't even trade the queens. I thought he was going to, so that's a little bit surprising to me. I think that positionally he probably should have traded the queens because now he has some pretty serious weaknesses. But I do need to think about where I'm going to move the queen. But again, I don't think that was super accurate because now his light sword bishop isn't going to really get any play anytime soon. Where do I move though? Where do I move? I want to maneuver over here with my knight to f5. To do that, I need to have the h4 square controlled, but my queen can't move anywhere to control that right now. So I'm thinking probably c3 is pretty safe. c3 actually also has the idea of going to c7. So let's not waste too much time. This game is probably going to have a long endgame, so I really want to save some clock for that. Oh, yeah, he stops my idea with rook c8. I missed that. That's a good move. But I don't think that... I don't think it's particularly bad for me at all. In fact, this might actually be what I wanted. Because now... Well, there's no reason to just whimsically attack a pawn for really no reason at all. It's defended, so it's not like I'm actually threatening anything. Instead, I might want to move to a more future-proof square that also keeps an eye on the c2 pawn. So yeah, let's move back to d2 because it's more in the center of the action. Yeah, but now he really does just kind of get active, which is annoying, for sure. And the main inequality here is just the minor piece imbalance positionally, because we have the same minor piece. We're both trying to argue now that our minor piece is better than our opponent's. And right now, my opponent's light squared bishop is definitely better than mine, and for that reason, I'm probably going to want to get it to d5 and maybe even trade it off. So I'm actually going to start that initiative right now. If he does, he can't really put his knight. Oh, actually, if I go here, he could put his knight here. Because then after captures, he can actually take my bishop. Well, here. Takes. Yeah, I actually don't love that position at all. Yeah, so a good thing that I avoided that. You know, I might actually want to go queen e8 with the idea of literally just trading. Yeah, let's do that because I don't want to waste any time. This game, as I've said multiple times now, is really me working on my time management, keeping up the clock. And by the way, I feel like I've been playing blazingly fast, but somehow my opponent is still lower on time than me. I don't really understand how that's possible, but it is what it is. By the way, now my idea actually does work. I assume that he wants to stack rooks, but I don't think that it's necessarily too scary after I could also conclude my idea of playing bishop a6, but that really gets my queen out of the action, which I really don't like. Gives him an opportunity to stack rooks, getting pressure on the c2 pawn. Then the other side of it is, now that the c4 square is under my control, I can actually just play bishop to c4 without worrying about this, because now my bishop is actually defended. So let's actually play bishop to c4 with the idea of putting it on d5. And in the future, I'm going to be looking to reroute this knight. But yeah, I mean, I can't really claim any advantage. It's a totally equal game. And yeah, okay, so he moves his knight to both reveal and attack on my bishop, and also to presumably take this square away from me. A little bit annoying, but not terribly. In fact, I might even just go back to b6, because that's going to defend this pawn as well. So before that, let's actually put my rook on d1. On d1. And then when he when he doubles his rooks, which I assume he'll do, I can defend with the bishop. So again, nothing really spectacular, but nothing bad either. So I've seen better positions and I've seen worse. I'll put it that way. It's definitely not fun, but this is also a very common type of position where you just got to grind it out. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And by the way, the move that I thought was pretty strong when he played knight to e7, stopping me from getting my bishop to d5, it's actually looking in hindsight like it wasn't that great, because now his knight is kind of dominated by my pawn. His only real path to making it active is to play knight to g8 with the idea of getting it to f5. But if he ever does that, I'm probably actually just going to play g3, because that's going to prepare my knight jump to h4 anyway. The only consideration there is obviously it makes my light scores pretty weak. But yeah, I mean, I'm down 4 minutes, which is insane to me, because I feel like I haven't even had time to think. But I suppose this is how it works. And by the way, it's not like I don't play fast time controls. I play too much bullet, to be honest. So I don't know why I'm so bad at playing quickly. It's kind of just, I don't know, I just wasn't made for it. I feel like when I see 15-minute plus 10-second increment time control, I just assume that I have so much more time than I actually do. And okay, so he does play the move that we thought he was going to. I said I was going to play g3. I might actually throw in, I might throw in queen to d3 first, because then I win a pawn if he does that. And by the way, I actually don't like g3 so much anymore, because that actually makes my knight a little bit loose. So yeah, let's play queen here instead. Wait, if I play queen here and he goes here, it takes... Yeah, no, he's not checkmating me or anything, so that should be fine. Yeah, it should be fine. But yeah, I actually don't like g3. Positionally, it's probably pretty weak, and it's probably not worth it to stop him from getting to here, because I'm going to move the thing anyway, and maybe I'll even play f4. Probably not, but maybe. Oh no, the reason that this isn't as scary as it looks like is because I'm going to play bishop to d5, and then once the bishops are traded, actually, I was going to say that this isn't as strong of an outpost as it looks, but maybe it is. Wait, no, here's why it's not, because after the bishops are traded, I can play g3 without worrying about the light square weaknesses. So can I play this now? No, because then he actually does have this move. I think that I will actually play g3. g3 and then trade the bishops. Obviously, I have to defend my knight first before I do that, but... Wait a minute. Was that a tactical mistake? No, he can take with the queen. If he took with the pawn... Oh, and he can take with the knight. g3, I don't know. It looks like the move... It's the move I've been wanting to play, but it also looks wrong for some reason. Which isn't a great reason. No. g3 has to be the move. g3 has to be the move. And then I'm going to play knight h4, knight f5. It has to be. But yeah, I mean, it definitely makes me uncomfortable seeing how weak my light squares are becoming when his bishop is aimed at me. And I was talking a lot about how my knight is loose, but I just realized there's no real reason to worry about that, because as I said, I'm going to move it anyway. Okay, so he does move back. I suppose that the... Oh, wait a minute. Is that a mistake? No, I keep on forgetting if I take here, he can just take with the queen. I'm looking at the tactic where if he takes with the pawn, I obviously have this, but not the case. Even though he's guarding this square... Well, actually... I'm just trying to see how I can make progress. I'm not really seeing much of a way, because he's stopping me from playing this again. Actually, no, he isn't. Well, no, because now he actually just takes with the knight. But if he takes with the knight, then his bishop is a little bit blunted, and I can still put my own knight on h5. No, I still don't think it's worth it. No, I really don't see how to make progress. His knight's pretty annoying, even if it looks badly placed. It might seem a little bit wonky, but maybe I even try a rook lift so that after I play this, I can actually bring my rook in and then plant on f5 and then recapture with the rook. So this might look funky, but I feel like it makes some sense. So let's do it. I'm also adding another defender to my knight. And then if he does move his queen anywhere, by the way, then I will have this tactic. Yeah, it's looking like neither of us have too many ideas, except for the fact that I am down 5 minutes, which doesn't seem possible to me. Well, I suppose that even my fast is other people's slow. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm trying to keep my mind not wandering from the game like I sometimes do. I sometimes start talking about the most random things, but today I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm thinking my next move is going to be knight h4, no matter what. I mean, obviously not no matter what, but in most cases. By the way, I'm sorry. I'm sorry again for not making my bet. I'll do that next time. To be honest, I made up an excuse in the beginning of this video. I just forgot that it wasn't made. But yeah, opponent is spending some time now. They're spending more and more time the later and later into this game we get. For some reason, I'm a little bit lightheaded. I don't know what that's about. Not an excuse, just an observation. It's worth noting that if I play knight here, then he does push his h-pawn forward. That'll create a weakness. But also, if I ever want to move my rook to f3, I can always drop back my knight to g2. And that's actually promising because it'll help with the f4 break. But I'm not sure if that means anything. I'm just kind of rambling about things that could possibly maybe happen. Oh, by the way, actually, I just realized it's probably not a good idea for him to play g6 after I go knight h4 because that would create a massive weakness on... a massive backwards pawn. Unless he wants to play f5. But he can't really do that too easily because I'll have my knight on h4. Which will mean I can capture twice. And yeah. So opponent is thinking, I have to keep a consideration that I have an undefended pawn, which is being x-rayed by the queen. Obviously not too much of a threat right now, but I'm just thinking like I do see a world where I trade the bishop, he pushes this pawn, and even though I can take this pawn, he'll win this one and kind of be a little bit annoying with it, as they say. And yeah, this is the longest that my opponent has thought by far, I think. So maybe they're thinking about some wacky move. They are not. They're thinking about a pretty traditional move. Okay, I guess that he wants to get here, but that doesn't actually scare me because I can just take, and then if he ever recaptures, that'll be doubled pawns, which will be easy to take down. So I think that the time has finally come for bishop d5. I don't want to spend too much time pondering when this is the move that I'm probably going to end up playing. However, I do have to consider the tactic I was talking about. I could also do my whole maneuver, but if I do my maneuver, then I'll probably bring his knight in. Oh, or I could be super positional and play c3, stopping his knight from getting here ever, and then play my idea of going knight h4. I like that better, actually. Because I was worried about my b2 pawn in some lines, and c3 takes care of that, so... Let's do it. I'm kind of just trying to neutralize his knight as much as possible. I suppose that's obvious. That's what you're meant to do, but oftentimes I don't neutralize my opponent's pieces enough. I kind of let them do whatever they want, float around. And yeah, now I for sure I'm gonna do the plan I was talking about for so long. By the way, it's not even a massive plan. It's really just to make my position a little bit better. But as I get higher and higher in the rating ladder, I'm gonna have to start thinking about smaller and smaller advantages. So piece positioning really will matter more and more. But yeah, this game is gonna looks like it's gonna be one where I have to find a way to break through, and oh. Interessante, as they say. Obviously, he's stopping me from putting my knight on h4. That's good positional understanding by my opponent, because that was definitely going to be my next move. Now, I'd consider h4 if he couldn't literally just push the pawn, but he can just push the pawn, so I don't really see a point. No, I definitely cannot sacrifice. Literally no reason to do that. Yeah, I need to improve my own knight. How can I get my knight here? I can't really, is the answer to that. I guess I could take this long route, but then it'll just trade me off. You know what? Now is probably the time to play my bishop move. So let's do it. I don't want to waste too much time. I'm down 4 minutes. And yeah, this is a very positional game. We're both trying desperately to take away any squares from our opponent. And we are each other's opponents, so obviously that's going to be annoying for both of us. Okay, okie dokie. I think that I have to trade the bishop. Yeah, I'm not going to think too much because there's no chance I'm going to let him have the bishop pair when I have light squared weaknesses. So yeah, let's just do it. There's really no world in which I don't take there. Okay, I need to find a way to break through. Okay, you know what? My knight is never gonna find any way through on this side of the board, so I think that I'm going to have to reposition it. The question is how, and the answer, I believe, is through d2. It's also been pretty loose for a minute now too. Obviously, g4 would be a massive mistake, but if he just moved his queen, then I could take this pawn tactically. But no reason for wishful thinking. You know what? Let's do it. Let's just reroute the knight because it doesn't have any future there. I need to improve it. And I'm down 4 minutes. Since this game I'm trying to improve my time management, that's something I definitely have to think about. Where is our opponent from? The United Arab Emirates. Interesting. I do love how global chess is. It's really cool. So yeah, I'm headed for c4 because b3 is really dominated by all of his pawns, so there's no reason to go there. However, c4 also is a bit loose, and I'm learning a new method of calculation. Yeah. I mean, there's really, dang, it really seems like there's no way to break through here. In fact, I feel like he's gearing up to play d5. Because now he has so many defenders and attackers there. In fact, I might actually want to play c4 to stop him from doing that. Because if he plays here, I cannot take, because after taking, he'll take back with the rook. And then after I move my queen, I'm actually losing. Miraculously, because I won't be able to defend all my pieces. In fact, this is actually already a little bit sketchy. I think that I'm going to have to play c4, yeah. It's called for by the position. It's called for. I don't like how discoordinated my pieces are compared to my opponents. Uncoordinated, I suppose, is the word. Discoordinated is not a word. If I could slip my knight in somehow to g5, that would be ideal, but I don't think I can. I really have no routes in. His pawns are very effective. I hate to say it, but this could be a draw. Because I'm not sure how either of us are going to make any progress. Either of us is going to make any progress. Sorry for the grammar. Maybe he's gearing up to play it again. I mean, he probably is, actually. You know what? This might be the coward's way out, but I might have to... Oh, no. I can move my knight to b1, which will defend this square because I'll add another defender to it via the rook. Then I'll be able to play knight c3. So, yeah, that's definitely the move. And somehow I'm still taking too much time. I don't understand how that's possible. Maybe he's going to try to play like queen h3, but I don't think that he's going to get in. Oh, interesting. He finally makes a move that changes things up. I cannot let him play f5, so I think that I need to take. Because if he gets in f5, I'm losing. So, I think I have to take. If I take, though, then I'll take back with the knight. Then, okay, yeah, no, I have to take. There's no world I can't take. Now, if he takes with the queen, I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, trade the queens. Okay, he keeps it alive a little bit. You know what? I could be boring and go back over here, but I really don't want to be boring. Oh. Forgive me for almost playing this and blundering the fork. That would have been bad. So I think that I actually do have to, unfortunately, be a little bit boring. Yeah, I do have to be boring. And now I also am reserving the right to play rook to d2. And I'm going to bring my own knight into d5, unless he goes back to e7, which he honestly might, because he really loves that square for his knight. Oh, he blunders. I can just take this knight, because after takes, I have this. Yeah, he blunders. And sometimes games are ended like that. But that's how chess is. Now, I would be very mad if I was my opponent, but I am myself, so I am reasonably happy. Not too happy, because obviously it's unfortunate when games end in anticlimactic ways, but I mean, it's realistic. Okay. Now, obviously, he is threatening to take, so instead, I'm going to be super surgical and force the queen trade. And now I'm stopping all of his pawns in place. I'm going to play knight to c3, and I should win this game now. But I've lost more winning games than this, so it's never over till it's over. Okay, let's bring our knight to c3. I'm just trying to not get low on time. Getting low on time is really the only way I could lose this. Oh, I almost cornered my knight. Wow, okay. Wow, fascinating. You know what? I think that I win another pawn here, so let's go here. Yeah, we go here, and we're going to win this pawn. I'm not sure how long we'll keep that pawn, because he might get counterplay on d5. Okay, never mind, he resigns. Cool, we needed that win. First win in a while. Now, as to how like earned that win was, not sure, but oh, I take it back, 90% accuracy. So this was actually a good game. It was perfectly drawn until the end there. I did blunder. Wow, I did blunder. I should have gone back. If I went back, then I had a 93% accuracy. So this was just a really solid game until my opponent blundered. But let's go all the way back to the beginning, because it was equal like the entire time. Estimated ELO is 2100 for me, 1950 for my opponent. Very glad that I won that because I really needed the win. I did not want to go down to the 1620s. We're back up to 1641 now. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, his opening was very annoying to me, but okay, I just don't like playing against this type of thing. Instead of, okay, so I thought that the only way to save my e-pawn was to pin, but apparently it wanted me to go to d2, but I would have never done that, to be honest, because that looks like it blocks in my bishop. If anything, I would have played queen e2. I don't think it matters too much, though. It's, oh no, it actually does matter, because here I have a plus 0.6 advantage, here I have no advantage at all. So I lost my advantage for playing with the white pieces. So yeah, I should have played queen e2. Okay, I played queen d2. Let me guess, queen e2 is better. It's not going to tell me right away. What did it want me to do? Oh, it wanted me to drop the knight back so that I didn't double my pawns after he recaptured me. That makes sense. And I'm also defending my d-pawn again. So yeah, that does make sense. Then I do make him take. Yeah, as much as... Actually, computer thinks that it's equal taking with the pawn or taking with the queen. I was tempted to take with the pawn and get the super open file, but that didn't end up happening. I don't trust myself enough to double the pawns. By the way, I was talking about if you take this pawn, you basically are losing. I think. Are you not? Oh, I guess you aren't losing. I thought that I was losing if I took this pawn, because what I saw was this, then this. And I guess that I'm not losing, but tell me that you would not want to play this position with black. Look, I mean, you have pawn islands, doubled pawns. Black has just a beautiful position in every way. So practically, this would be terrible for white, I think, personally at least. Apparently, computer disagrees with me, and computer is always right. So, but my rook move was totally fine. I probably should have recaptured with the knight, I suppose. No? Oh, it wanted me to play queen c7. That was the idea I had later, but he did have rook e1, rook c8 if I waited too long. So now he actually has to do this, and then I take this pawn in the center, and now I'm threatening this pawn too. Okay, so I totally missed queen c7. Obviously, it's not winning because the evaluation is still pretty equal, but this does look more like it's more lively, and like white has more winning chances. But anyway, this is fine. Yeah, as I said that e5 wasn't a good move, and I was right, because now I just have a lot of counterplay against this pawn. He actually, I don't remember why I thought that e5 was bad. I guess it isn't that great, but no. I thought it wasn't good because now I get c7, but he actually has rook a8, c8, so he's totally fine. So my analysis was wrong. I guess e5 was fine, but it wasn't an accuracy. What should he have played? Yeah, he should have just taken. Yeah, and then life goes on. But anyway, all this happens. Yeah, queen d2 is best. Then I think that really anything works here because it's totally drawn. Bishop c4 wasn't great. I should have just brought in my rook. I was trying ideas in a position where there weren't really many ideas. I should have just gone back to b7. I mean b3. But it doesn't really matter when it's all zeros on the eval board. Okay, g3 is fine. I was worried that it was going to call it a mistake, but apparently it's completely fine. Because he can't really break through. Rook e3 is also good. It wanted me to play knight h4 now, which I suppose makes sense given the fact that later in the game I didn't actually have the chance to play knight h4. What if he plays g5? Then what? Oh, then I don't even hop into f5. I just kind of let him make that hole. Then I go back to g3, and maybe I can reroute there in the future if he ever moves his knight. Interesting, but my move is also fine. C3, even though it looks like a waiting move, it kind of is. It's fine. It kind of takes off some pressure on the X-rayed pawn. Look, by the way, this position is so dead that instead of C3, I thought that the best move was Bishop A2. Literally just like a nothing move and a nothing burger, even taking eyes off of the C3 pawn. So yeah, this position, maybe it's a preemptive move against, maybe it's preemptive against knight to A5, but yeah, because now it does want him to play knight A5, and then I go to A2 anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. Let me guess, if I go here, and then he goes knight to A5, then C3 is a move. It's not the most popular move. Knight H4 is most popular, but C3 is popular here too. So the point is that the move order is a bit interchangeable. But that's what I was trying to get at. Yeah. Okay, so I should have played H3. I guess that makes sense because I was actually a little bit worried about G4. Or sorry, not G4, but first H4. Sorry, first H5. And then maybe an H4. So I should have played H3 to stop those ideas. By the way, I forget that I said G4 now. G4 here would be losing. Yeah. I mean, it's not losing, obviously, but plus 0.7 is a major advantage now, because now I go to H4 to F5. And then he can stop my idea of going over here, but I just takes, and he just has more weaknesses than I have. So it's still not anybody's game, but now I have something to play for, and he doesn't really have anything to play for, because he has weaknesses and I don't. Maybe I even break here or something. Anyway, by the way, oh, wait, I was gonna just move on, but that's actually pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. After D5, I was going to say break to F5, but I guess that breaking to F3 is maybe even better. Yeah. Actually, no, they're fully equal, but I always forget that when you're breaking with the pawn and it's on the home square, you don't have to move it 2 squares. Like, you have free will. So yeah. Okay, so I had a little bit of an advantage, a small one, but I gave it up. Wow, it wanted me to play H4. I thought H4 was bad, because after H4, then he does have G4. Huh. The only move here to keep an advantage is knight H2, but doesn't he just solidify? No, because I have F3. And then after takes, I'm the one who's breaking in because I have an active rook on a weak pawn. Oh, that's interesting. I totally missed that. Totally missed why H4 works because of knight H2. Fully missed it. Great to see it there, though. Yeah, C4 is a good move. I'm glad that I found C4. That's just the kind of move that you really have to start finding. Because Queen E2 is apparently fine too, but I thought that, yeah, he has D5 now, and then things do get a little bit wild, which maybe I actually want, but E6, or even here, really, EXD5, then knight XD5. F3 doesn't work because of knight H4, right? Oh, yeah. Interesting. Actually, that is a pretty cool tactic, by the way. I brushed over it, but this is a cool tactic. Like, it looks like you're losing a knight, but nope. Because takes, obviously, you take with check, and now you're losing. And otherwise, you take this queen, takes queen, sorry. Otherwise, you take the knight, and you're losing a rook. Sorry, you're losing the exchange. Anyway, very interesting. But that's not what happens. I blunder here. Why is this a blunder? He misses it. What could he have done to take use of that? He has to push D5. Huh. What about... Oh, I see why. Because after take, he's going to take back with... Wait, no, I don't see why. What? Why is this? It wants me to take with the queen? I would never do that. I would take with the pawn any day of the week. Why is this? Oh, obviously now he's winning a piece, so that I can't let that happen. Yeah, so here I'm actually losing the queen. But after this, and he takes... Sorry, after this... Do I really not have anything better? Yeah, I can just move this rook, right? Why is that? Oh, he jumps in, attacking my queen. And at the same time, my best bet is to give up the queen again, because if I take, he's winning a piece. Wow, this is fascinating. I definitely would have messed up. So here, best move is to just actually give up the pawn, admit defeat. If you take, you actually are literally losing. And, I mean, you're losing a pawn either way, but here at least you're surviving a little bit longer. Yeah, okay, so interesting way to win a pawn. We both missed it. Then, yeah, taking is fine. Yeah. Oh, I made a mistake here. Rook e2 was bad. I should have gone back to e1. My reasoning was that I wanted to keep the ability to double rooks on the d file. But obviously this is totally losing now. Wait, it's not totally losing? I thought that after this you're just losing a piece. No, because, oh, you pin the pawn. Then queen to d1, and now we can't take still. Okay, so positionally it's a little bit bad for me, but not terrible. But not, so, I mean, there's no reason to play this move, because it's not a good move. Oh, actually, it's the second best move. But I did not see rook to e1 after e5. It's pretty easy to see, but I didn't see it. Anyway, I made a little bit of an oopsie, then he blunders. Obviously, you know, that's the type of blunder that can happen to anybody, really. It's just, by the way, if you're watching, you didn't catch why it's a blunder. It's because after takes, I just take his queen. It's unprotected. But his best move was to break with e5. And then after this, he's actually doing better than me. Sorry, d5. Because again, the same thing happens. I can't take because now he's skewering. So I'm going to have to just lose the pawn. Then he can actually, no, he cannot play that because of g4. Interesting. But he can actually just take this pawn, and now he's just going to be up. And now I suppose, yeah. So, interesting, I did blunder a pawn a few times there, but besides that, I played decently, I think. I mean, 90% accuracy is nothing to scoff at. My opponent was playing well, too, until that blunder. I'm interested to see what would his accuracy have been if he hadn't made that one blunder. I'm not too sure. Maybe higher than mine. Because he did keep equality as black for pretty much the entire game, which is good. By the way, where did I lose equality? Oh yeah, I lost it at bishop g5. Yeah, because I don't study against the Owens defense. Because I don't face it too often. And I feel like it's one of those things where you just have to kind of trust that you know how to play chess. But anyway, thank you for watching. We've broken the losing streak. Thank the heavens. I will catch you tomorrow. Adios. Have a great night.